Hey Libras, welcome to my channel. This is Lotus Magic. Today I'm bringing you your May 2019 Oracle Guidance message. And I'm going to go ahead and get into the reading because on this particular phone I only have 23 minutes for this video until my other phone charges. So I'm going to go ahead and get started so that I can make sure your reading doesn't cut off. All right, your Oracle Guidance message comes from the Angel of Relaxation, and it says, let go of desired outcomes and you will get what you want. So many Libra in the collective have been, there's some decision making that needs to go on, and you're really focused on the outcome of your decision. And you're so focused on the outcome of the decision, how it's going to affect you and the other person or people, your family, that it's almost making you do nothing. You know, we can be so worried about something we can't do anything. So while it's good to take time to relax and contemplate on your decision, you need to make sure you're doing it from a pondering the pros and cons, how to do it, you know, things like that, more from a planning perspective than a worrying about the outcomes. Okay, worrying about how you are going to be after this decision. I feel like it's one of those things like if this is a breakup, and you live in the home with your partner, you're wondering where you're gonna go. If you're the one that's gonna have to move out, you're wondering where you're gonna go. This is also I feel like because you have some guilt, the guilt card in your chakra wisdom, I feel like it could be wondering too much how the person you're leaving is going to be affected, and it's making you procrastinate your decisions. So you really need to don't focus on the outcome, which is the future. Don't focus of the future aspect of your decision. Focus on the now. What do you need to do now? And just focus and be in the present moment and do what needs to be done now, and don't worry about the future. Okay. And if you are going to think about what the future is like, don't think about the negative outcomes. Think about the positive outcomes that can happen due to this decision that you need to make. Visualize what you want the outcome to be, not what you don't want the outcome to be. Because if you focus on what you don't want the outcome to be, you're going to manifest what your thoughts are, because you're focusing and you put a lot of energy there. So put more energy into focusing on the outcome that you want. Okay. Where you need to focus your energy for the month of May is leadership. All right. So again, you've been so worried about the outcome of the situation that it's making you procrastinate and not take any action, and you need to step up and take leadership. Okay. If someone's trying to make you feel guilty for leaving or wanting to leave, or putting the burden of the breakup on you, or the burden of the decision on you, because this isn't just relationship. It could be a situation where it's business too. But if someone's putting the burden of the separation on you, you need to step up and take leadership. Okay. And get out of feeling guilty about anything and make a decision. Like, it's really just time for you to step up and make a decision and take control of the situation. And you'll be more helpful to this person if you stop wavering and just make a decision, because that energy gets reflected back to you in some sort of a way. So if you step up and take leadership, you're gonna be able to align yourself with the new opportunities that are going to manifest, okay? Because you made a decision. The universe responds to unwavering decisions and unwavering thoughts, okay? So when you declare yourself ready to separate from this relationship and it's what you're going to do, the universe is going to create the opportunity for you to make that happen, okay? So even if it's a situation where you need to move out of the house, you may not be able to do it right away, but if you stick to your mind and your decision to do it, the universe will create that opportunity for you. But you're going to need to um, make a decision and stand on it, okay? Um, it's really up to you, and you're going to have to understand that the only way you're going to improve your situation is to um, follow your heart, okay? So here we have this pink star in the middle, okay? Take leadership and follow your heart. Do what your heart says to do. And especially I know with breakups, especially when it's a family situation, and there's kids and things like that, it does get tough to make decisions. But you have to ask yourself, is being here healthy for them if I'm unhappy, or would I do better by leaving the situation, working on myself, becoming happy, and giving my full self to the situation from a better vibration, okay? Not from a place of guilt, because when you operate from, you stick around from a vibration of guilt and things like that, you tend to grow resentment in the situation. And that's not a good energy to bring to any relationship or any family dynamic or partnership or business dynamic. Anyway. All right. So your chakra wisdom message comes from wisdom. All right. So what I'm getting from this is perhaps you're trying to do all of this decision making alone and you're not really talking to anybody about it, but it may be time to step out of your inner self and speak to someone who's knowledgeable about the situation. Seek some guidance from someone who's experienced in this, some spiritual guidance, who can help you really understand your true feelings, okay? And don't ignore it, okay? Even if it's not what you want to hear, don't ignore it, okay? Because it's easy to get defensive when people say things that we don't necessarily want to hear. But you really need to take some time and get to know the difference between a calculated risk and stupidity. Okay? Ask yourself if especially if you're rushing to do it, is it stupid to do it now, or is this calculated? Like, you want to know the difference, okay? So ponder your decisions, what decisions you have, what options you have, and whether taking those options would be a good calculated risk or if it's just stupidity. All right? You're gonna have to reach out to someone who's mature. If you have like knucklehead friends who don't give good advice or are really immature, then you're gonna get that type of wisdom, immature wisdom. Okay, there's mature wisdom and then there's immature wisdom. Okay, so make sure you're seeking out help from someone who's a little more mature about life, and it has nothing to do with age. It just has to do with experience and perspective. Okay, someone with a broader, more mature perspective on life. Okay, because they will help you figure out what to do. Okay. All right. You also have the guilt card. And this is the story of Apricot. Apricot is a really good person. And what I take from this is Apricot is the kind of person who she worries about others more than herself. So she sets aside her own needs and happiness to help others, even allowing freeloading friends to get involved in her business, immature people. Okay. One day, her latest business partner announces that she wants to dissolve their business and split the profits. Apricot finally stands up to her. The company is hers and she did all the work, while the so-called partner did nothing. Now she will only give from her excess, not her reserve. So before Apricot took leadership in her life, she probably would have given her friend half the profits, simply because she's a good person and she wants to continue to be seen as a good person, even if it becomes self-sacrificing. So a lot of you have been self-sacrificing your own happiness to make other people happy in a partnership, relationship. I'm trying to not limit this just to love, but just any type of relationship or partnership. And so when she finally took leadership, she was able to release that guilt, that feeling of guilt. And if we look at her, we see she's ironing and doing her duties, but she's like being held like bondaged, in bondage. She's being chained. She's not doing it from a pure heart, pure love. She's doing it more out of guilt and duty and almost being held hostage in the relationship. And remember, I just said, when you're not operating from a place of true happiness, you end up becoming resentful. Okay? And you really don't want to operate from resentment, because that changes your mindset. Okay? Do not do for others what they need to do for themselves. Speak truth from your heart. Honesty is freedom. Any guilt is fear of being disliked. So if you're worried that dissolving this relationship, partnership is going to make you look like the bad guy, that's really you just feeling guilty. But ask yourself, am I wrong for making this decision for myself? Am I making this decision to bring harm to another person? Or am I doing this because I know that it's the right thing to do for me? Okay? And if your answer is it's the right thing for me, then there's nothing to feel guilty about. Okay? So this is like a situation where you're if this is a relationship, you're being made to feel guilty that you're leaving the children. And it's like, am I really leaving my children? I'm just moving out of the house. I can still be a great, parent to my child and not live here. So I don't need you to feel guilty. This is this kind of situation where the person that you're living with is dependent upon you for bills and things like that. And so they're making you feel guilty because now they will have to pick up the slack on when you leave. Well, should that be my burden or responsibility? Okay? Because the truth is, I'm having to alter my life and now take on the responsibilities on my own. So maybe you have to move. Maybe you'll just have to move. Maybe you'll have to downsize. Maybe you'll have to make adjustments. But I can't be responsible for making you happy while trying to make myself happy. And that's where you need to get rid of that guilt. No one has the right to hold you hostage in any relationship that doesn't serve your higher good and doesn't make you happy. Okay? So it's time for you to remove that guilt and break yourself free by being honest about what you really want. And just from the looks of this, you honestly don't want to be in this partnership or relationship and situation. And once you remove that guilt and take leadership, you will be able to make that decision. What's blocking you is Two of Staffs. Okay, so staffs is like action. And if we look at this card, it's like you have two decisions and you're not making the decision. So that's what's blocking you. Your inability to make the decision is really blocking you from manifesting the outcome that you want. You need to decide. The universe cannot create anything for you with uncertainty. Otherwise, it's just going to, the only thing it's going to create is more uncertainty. So you need to make a decision, trust your intuition, okay? Seek some spiritual guidance, which is the wisdom here. Seek some wisdom and make a decision. Okay, if we look here at his feet, it's like he's taking one foot, putting 1 foot forward. So it's time to put 1 foot forward. Staffs are action energy, so put 1 foot forward and make the next step. Okay, and that for you is making a decision to go or to stay. But I feel like the decision you're really leaning toward is leaving. You just need to do it. Make that decision and do it. Sometimes what keeps us stuck from making decisions is when we're in that moment where we're feeling resentful, mad, angry, sad. We're like, sure, right? I'm done with this. I'm going to go. And then you may have one good day with your partner or just a good moment with that person you're trying to walk away from. And then you're back on the fence. So you're going to have to ask yourself if, again, asking yourself questions. Do the good times outweigh the bad? Do the bad times outweigh the good? Okay, if the good times outweigh the bad, maybe you need to give it some time and work on it, do the work. But if the bad outweighs the good, yeah, it's not really worth staying in any situation for a couple of good days if you're going to turn around and have triple the bad days. Okay, it's not worth it. Okay, it's like someone draining you and then putting you on the charger and getting you up to 16%, right? Because most phone chargers, the notification comes on at 15%. So it's like someone getting your battery up to 16%, right? And you're like, okay, I'm starting to come alive again. And then your phone goes back down to you go back down to 15% and your notifications going off again. It's time you need to hurry up and get to a charger. So it's like that energy, right? So you definitely need to put 1 foot forward and just make a decision. Your healing insight message comes from Bumblebee Jasper. This is a trust crystal. This is definitely a solar plexus, sacral chakra energy, which is definitely your energy here for this reading. So your sacral chakra is your power zone. So you need to definitely balance your emotions and step into your power. Your sacral chakra governs your emotions. Your solar plexus governs your power. So balance your emotions so that, again, the Two of Staffs, make a decision on how you really feel. Okay. And Libra, this is so funny because you are the scales and you're always trying to balance things. So just everything for you is on the scale right now. Every decision, it's either or. As you can see the pattern in this reading, it's been an either or. So your scales are really in need of balance right now to make it a fair decision, because you really are about fairness. And I think that's why you feel guilty about things, and you're easily manipulated to stay when you should go and things like that, because you're always trying to do what's fair for everybody. But sometimes you have to put yourself first and allow that scale to tip a little bit more in your favor sometimes, and that's okay.